Increasingly, we're talking about global skills, and in particular about the importance of being a global citizen and a global leader. So we are wanting to put the focus on young people themselves, the importance of becoming an active and informed citizen, the challenges that we face for education and for our schools because, of course, young people have the opportunity to express themselves in both formal and informal settings, and increasingly through the power and reach of social media. And we are wanting to put the spotlight on citizenship and the role that schools play in ensuring that we have citizenship education that enables all young people to participate fully in their societies and globally.
I think learners are not that much involved in decision-making on what they want to do to study. I'll take an example of myself. I'm a graduate of law. I didn't want to do law, but because the system of education in my country, Tanzania, you just get to suggest what you want to study, but opportunities are so limited. So you are selected to go and study a course that you get an opportunity to go to university. So when I got an opportunity to do law, I took it, not because I love law, it's because I have to be in university. So now I've finished with Bachelor's of Law, but my passion is in sociology, community development. I'm left wondering what I should do next, because now I have graduated in law, but I don't want to do laws. I want to do sociology. So it's a confusion when you don't listen to Elena.
Do you support the view that even from the earliest age, we actively encourage young people to have greater control over their learning?
I'm torn, actually, because I know that in today's sort of mass media world, the celebrity culture is actually filling a lot of heads. And perhaps there's an age, at the very young age, where the celebrity issue does not cloud people's thinking. And then there's an age at which everybody wants to be a footballer or a pole dancer or some other thing. And, well, I shouldn't say everybody. Let me not be... you're the
and we won't ask for people to indicate which of those categories.
The sort of idea of instant fame. And so I think that if you can get young people at the youngest age, strangely enough, at the time when one thinks they don't know anything, they can have more realistic, when I say realistic, I don't mean that they shouldn't aim for the top, just that they can also have ambitions about the things that don't look like instant fame. And so I would say that, being a cautious lawyer, my answer is both yes and no. I can see both sides of the argument in short. Yes, you do need to involve young people, but you have to give them the foundation on which they are going to make choices which are relevant to themselves.
And I think the problem is partly in the students themselves. I think that the mindset that is being instilled into the students comes from the previous levels of education. Yeah. And that is the most fundamental challenge, because in almost all of our K-12 systems, the values there that are put into the students' minds are order, that you have to listen to the authority, and you have to repeat what was said, and it's the regurgitation of knowledge. It's not, processing it through from your own perspective. And so in higher education, we often deal with solving this kind of a problem. But teacher training is something in which we can change where we come to the things.
I think that if we remove some kind of rigidity from the bureaucratic structure, it was just in the question, you questioned this, Otis questioned this bureaucratic structure, there would be much more place for students do like project-based learning, in which you would have a lot of, they would have, their voice would be heard. It would be possible to do it according what there is interest and strength. And for this, we need to change how teachers are working. We need to change how in-service training, what was said before, is organized. And we need to remove the examination system, the power of examination system which really press education down.
The real question is systemic. We are financing the largest service system in the world by tax money, which is education.
Yes.
The question is what innovation can we do to make a structural adjustment in the construct of education delivery that will intrinsically allow, stimulate, promote young people's engagement in their learning, shaping their learning as competent partners, okay? And in fact, it's even worse. Students are forced to consume the commodity for 7 hours along 12 formative years of their life, and they can say nothing about what they learn, how they learn, from whom they learn, and nothing. They just sit there. Now, 4, we know now from neuroscience research that engagement is a fundamental enabler for learning. So it even raises the effectiveness and efficacy of the investment, because students who are engaged are more able to learn effectively, and instead of being in class are not there, spaced out. And hence, you're losing money.
I just wanted to add a point. I think also in the teachers' training, teachers play a greater role in the education system. As if you have well-trained teacher, then the product even of the student is really good. I have an example in Tanzania. We have a university called Sokoine University of Agriculture. Students there are trained in agriculture system, how things work. Amazingly, these students, after they complete their studies, they go apply to do other works like bank tellers, or other social media. While in Tanzania, the land is so vast. We have plenty of land, which if these students were really well trained, they'll go and work in this land and be very productive. But since they're not well trained, they're not even told the purpose they're there in the University of Agriculture, how they can be productive in the nation. Then this potential in these young people is lost.
I think that it's as if we're going down a corridor that we thought had an end. And the further we go down that corridor, we see more doors, we see that the corridor is ongoing and ongoing. And the important thing is to make sure that those doors can always be opened at any time by anybody, and that you can even open a door, pop in, and pop out again if you find that it doesn't. And I think that the role of teachers is to be there to reassure the student who wants to make their own choices that they have the validity to make those choices. The role of a teacher is a reaffirming role. The teacher can gain that respect if they show that, not that they are going to chase after every new butterfly of innovation, perhaps, but that they are open to new ideas and that they have the capacity to discern and to advise that this may be better or this may not.
About the needs of the nation, there's this quote that says, "Don't ask what the world needs, do and study what makes you come alive, because what the world needs are people who have come alive." And I think I wouldn't trust Martha to be my lawyer if I go to jail, because she doesn't love what she does. But she's my friend.
I believe very much that if young people don't have opportunities while they are young to do something socially important, something for life or their family or their local community, they would be powerless later and they would be passive in their life. So we need, while they are at school, give them opportunity to really be change agents, to really do something for others, for themselves. And this is the question of asking about listening student voice. So we need to listen them, allow them to be active, and also give them opportunities to change the world around them.